Good evening, everyone in the United Real community. We are back with some action, some spicy matches up here in this Sunday night. I'm Cream, joined by Anderson. Anderson, let's see, who are these two teams that are showing it off tonight?
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, we've got Fettuccine League action starting off with San Antonio versus Kansas City. Both of these teams so far undefeated going into week 2 of the season. But something interesting of note, both teams also have gone the distance in each of their series. So San Antonio was able to get their first win over Phoenix. That went all the way to game 5. And then Kansas City doing the same thing. That was against SFK and then Houston. Couple players to watch out for. J Rob's looking for his first goal. That's the captain of the San Antonio team. We'll see him on the field tonight. We will also see Bradley, or Brad McSnackwrap, I think is what he's going by tonight. Has 14 goals on the young season as well as 14 demos. So averaging 1 demo per goal. So that'll definitely be something interesting to look out for as the series unfolds.
Absolutely. As we into this game, number 1 is gonna almost slide into that net. What a save by Yosoi Reckless, who's barely gets it in 0-0. Now Brad getting over 1. Go back to J Rob, who's at the corner. Gonna try and leave it for Trash Panda. He gets demoed, but still gets it away. Gonna go back to West. Brad McSnackwrap is up for this one. It's going to be far off, sending it back to Ace, back off to the wall. Hit by J-Robs. West gets a miss, but Brad is right there. Ace right behind him. He is the last one back, so he has to be careful, but he gets beat. This could be danger for the Carnage, but still a minute has passed, and so far, 2 shots from the Kansas City Carnage, but some pressure is starting to click up from the Revenge.
Yeah, Ace not able to get a hold of that one just a moment ago to be able to send it downfield. And San Antonio really putting the pressure on so far. Kansas City struggling to get it out of their own end. Brad is going to push this one over to the corner. Then this one's going to drop down into the midfield. That's going to be on goal and just under the crossbar. San Antonio strike first.
Beautiful play. Trash Panda setting it out. And Yosoi Reckless right there to block away to clear and send it straight into the net of the Carnage to put the Revenge 1-0 started off.
J Robs and Brad on the kickoff. This one will go over to the side wall. Reckless trying to keep the pressure on. Routine push out there by West. And back down over to the corner. Kansas City looking to strike back, and almost an opportunity there as that ball was making its way across the face of goal. Little, not quite as much connection there by Trash Panda as he would have liked. Brad trying to flick it above. Reckless now. And back into the San Antonio and Kansas City with a little bit of pressure right here at the 3-minute mark. Now Brad again looking to maintain some possession. A little bit of a shift here now that we see Kansas City hanging out a little more in the San Antonio half of the field, but that one's going to be on goal. And as we say it, San Antonio is going to strike again, and they are going to double their lead.
An unfortunate hit from West will send it straight into the net, and no one will be there to get the save. Really unfortunate for the Carnage, considering they wanted to find an equalizer, but now they're going to have to find 2 goals. Try and equalize, but this crush for Revenge is going to become a little bit overwhelming. Ace gets bumped away, but this shot has been sent a little bit too far off. Now Brad is trying to hook something here. Gonna get past Soy Reckless. Gonna send it down. Blocked away by J-Robs. KCC West. Gonna send it away off the backboard to Ace. Doesn't get a good connection. And oh my goodness, that net is nearly open, but West will be back just in time for that one. But J-Rob's looking to send. Oh my goodness, Reckless with the demo to add salt to the wound.
And from the heavens, J-Rob's with the assist by Reckless is going to come flying across the midfield and a beautifully placed pass. Able to sneak that in toward the top of the net above the Kansas City defense. 3-0 now for San Antonio. About the 2-minute mark, they've got to get something going now, and it looks like they might have their first opportunity. Saved away on the line by Reckless. Now J-Robs with another shot. That one's going to be just barely high. Cleared away by Kansas City, at least for the time being. West trying to push it across the midfield line, which he does. Bumped away over to Ace, but he's facing the wrong way, already kind of making his way back. Get back on defense. 90 seconds left to go in this game, and Kansas City is going to have to get on the board quickly. They want to have a chance here in game one, and that is the absolute opposite of what they needed right now. 4-0, and the door is, I don't know that I'd say completely shut, but it's very, very close.
San Antonio just have so much pressure going on. The weight of pressure for these two teams, San Antonio just outweigh it by so much. And this could be number 5, J-Rob getting a hat trick. What a play by Reckless with the Playmaker Award.
Yeah, like I was saying a moment ago, very, very close to that door being shut. And I feel like with a 5-0 lead, we can go ahead and close this one. Kansas City still looking for that first goal. And as we were saying, J-Robs was looking for his first goal of the season coming into this game, and obviously making himself very well known throughout game one. Kansas City still struggling to find their footing, but another goal or two here in the last remaining minute would be huge regarding their confidence and any momentum that they can bring into game two.
I'd just like to see Kansas City get at least one goal to try and shift that momentum, try and make sure they just feel better going into game number 2. You know, game 1, a tough 5-0, or maybe could be 6-0 here, but Trash Panda get that one in. Their shot flies through, but Ace will be there for it. So far, Kansas City, they just need to try and find each other more, or maybe try and lighten up this San Antonio offense, because if they don't do it soon enough, then San Antonio are just going to keep scoring and scoring.
As the final seconds will count down, game 1 will go the way of San Antonio, and a very dominant 5-0 win. We'll see if the pressure can be kept up as we go into later games in the series. Reckless is the MVP with 772 points on the board. J-Robs with 3 goals in the match. Again, was searching for the first goal of the young season, and J-Robs found the hat trick in game 1 in this series versus Kansas City. We'll see what Kansas City is able to pull out going into game 2, any adjustments that they might make. You can see down on the advanced statistics as well, though, that San Antonio was very much in control of that one. 61% field domination is definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. Another thing to look at, though, is Brad. So far for this Kansas City team, he's been the one that they've really relied on. 14 goals again on the season in just the 2 series that he's played so far, and also had 14 demos. You see there, he had 0 demos in that entire matchup. So Kansas City might want to start relying a little more on the demo game like they have in previous series so far, and see if that can open up the field a little bit more and help them with that attack.
And maybe there's someone from the Carnage could maybe try in a situation where there's a shooter from the Revenge in the last one, and say you committed and you're coming back, maybe try and demo the shooter, and that could lead for some counterplay. And so far in this game number 2, we are already seeing Kansas City get the attack going. As Panda gonna get the save away. Ace's lost back. He has to get this touch here and has to make a good one. He does so, and J-Rob's lost back. He'll make a save. allowing for no goal to be scored yet until Ace. He'll put the first one on the board for the Carnage in this series and in this game.
That's huge for Kansas City. They had one, the shot on goal just before that one wasn't an overly difficult thing for San Antonio to have to deal with. But just having to push that ball over to the corner, it drops their rotation a little bit, having to reset on the goal line. That opens up that shot on goal. And then another one here, KC West going for the difficult angle. Isn't quite able to connect. Now Ace has an opportunity. Kansas City really already turning things around and trying to make the most out of the first couple minutes in game 2. The Ace is going to get bumped out of the way. Now Reckless is going to drop that into the midfield. Huge demo to try to clear the field up, but not quite enough pace on that one. Now West will continue the attack. Pushed away quickly by J-Robs. This one's making its way toward goal. Ace not able to get a touch on it, or does get a touch on it rather, just can't clear it away. I think ultimately Ace was the last one to touch that ball. An unfortunate, I mean, you can't even really call that one an own goal. I guess technically it is, but just like that, Kansas City drops a goal and they're tied up.
Be unfortunate. That ball, a random touch from the wall, just made that ball go a little bit faster. Kind of caught Ace off guard, but you're not losing.
Oh!
And speaking of losing, the team losing is now the revenge as the Carnage put another one. West will score this.
Well done putting that off of the top of the backboard, or off of the backboard rather, and then Ace able to come in, clean that one up, and just like that, Kansas City's back with, albeit a narrow lead, but a lead nonetheless.
So
More
far,
danger here for Kansas City. That'll be pushed over. Reckless keeping the attack going. Demoed, and that one will go back toward the goal. Cleared away. J-Robs have West to deal with in the corner. That's snuffed out. Now Trash Panda. Reckless all the way back on the other side of the field. Otherwise, San Antonio may have had a counterattack opportunity. Now this one will go top down right in front of the goal. Will this be able to make its way in? No. But now another opportunity for Reckless, and then cleared away. Pinball on the goal line. And Cream, we are tied up again.
Reckless just sliding through and finishing it off, a cherry on top, which was the dunk. Reckless has been living up to his name in this series. He got, I believe he was the one who got 2 goals, maybe the 700 points from last game. Now he's already had 2 so far in this game number 2. And he is a force to be reckoned with here, Anderson.
Yeah, definitely making a difference on this side. Trash Panda, though, able to come in, clear that one up on that right post, and just like that, Kansas City have dropped their lead. The first time that they've been trailing here in game 2. We've only gone through half of this game. We have 5 goals in the first 2.5 minutes of game 2.
San Antonio now have that lead, and now the Carnage have a job to make sure they equalize that and make sure they don't get any more goals scored on them, or else they could be in trouble. Being on match point, not that fun, especially when you have to get 3 games in a row to win after that. But Brad almost getting a goal, but blocked away by J-Robs. It's gonna go back to Ace. He's on the attack. He's gonna try and make a solo play, but blocked away by Trash Panda. Back to J-Robs. That one's gonna scream in the side of that net of the Carnage. What a beautiful shot by J-Robs.
Yeah, really nice angle and a read coming off of that side wall, and Kansas City can feel it start to slip away a little bit here. They're going to need to make some adjustments and start closing this gap now. Trash Panda's trying to get a touch on that one. J-Robs will be the next to follow up. West has a chance. The ball so slow, just sitting in front of the line. That's going to be missed, and Ace able to cut the lead in half. 4-3 now, Kansas City. They have a little bit of hope left.
Ace gonna get that one goal to shrink the lead of the Revenge. Now, they just needed one more without getting scored on, so they have a chance in this game. Oh my goodness, Ace getting a hat trick. He just came out of nowhere. And there it is. The game is all tied up once again.
A beautiful job to maneuver his car to be able to get the angle on that one. That is not an easy shot to put on goal. 4-4 now, the back and forth between these two teams. Now that Kansas City has kind of gotten their feet under them, I mean, just based on the things that we were talking about pre-game, with both of these teams having played their first series of the season, and all of those going to game 5 so far, I would not be surprised to see the same thing happen here. Kansas City is definitely going to want to clean up on defense a little bit. Giving up 4 goals is not something that they're going to be able to do consistently and keep themselves in this series, but at least where game 2 is concerned, it's been enough to at least keep them in it. 50 seconds left on the clock, Cream, and we'll see where this one goes. That one's going to be an opportunity for a shot on goal. Beautiful connection. Ace is going to put Kansas City ahead 5-4.
Ace being in a perfect position to score off of that pass from Bradnick's stack wrap. His 4th goal in this game number 2. Ace looking more like the star player compared to Reckless from last game. But Carnage have to hold on to this lead, just like they have to save those balls, because it's like that one save. That was a pretty close opportunity for the Revenge, but 25 seconds remain. Could the Carnage hold on to this lead, or will the Revenge suddenly get up and send it into our first overtime?
Reckless gonna pass that one over to the midfield. There's a miss. Kansas City has the ball in the San Antonio end. Precious seconds ticking off of the clock here. Reckless trying to keep this one in the air. This one's gonna bounce off of the corner, but that will not be enough. Kansas City is able to keep themselves in this series. We are now tied 1-1. It's a close one in a 5-4 victory, but Cream, they got it done.
A beautiful showing from Kansas City, being down 2 but not giving up, getting those 3 goals. I believe Ace got 3 goals straight after they were down 2, showing that Ace really stepped up his game along with the others from the Carnage. A beautiful showing from them. It was pretty close on it, and if maybe the Carnage could keep up with the pressure, maybe use that last bit of the game, keep doing what they're doing, they could be the first to get that match point.
Yeah, and they sort of flipped it, right? So we talked about the advanced statistics last game where San Antonio had 61% field domination. It's not as dominant of a showing for Kansas City here in game 2, but 56% is definitely a step in the right direction. Another thing that's really interesting about both of these teams is each team has a 130 salary on their roster that they're both choosing not to play early on in the season. It definitely levels the playing field a little bit. Obviously, you assume the 130 on a Fettuccine League team to be your star player more often than not. But again, neither of these teams opting to play that particular roster spot for game 2. This Reckless, they're going for the boost. As San Antonio decides not to have left go, maybe trying to make something happen here on kickoffs. Ace way up in the air is going to get a good touch on it off the backboard, and the chance is there for West. No opportunity any longer. Brad McSnack looking to get the connection, is unable there as well. West is going to put that one on goal and save, bar down off of the save. Kansas City already coming out with some pressure, Cream.
Beautiful from Kansas City. You love to see it if you are a fan of the Carnage. And that one's going to be a little bit far off. Brad not able to get it. He'll turn around though. It's going to be back to Ace, but Press Panda will get it before him. And West has to make this save away.
Oh,
back to
chance
Ace.
here.
He's going to set it on target, but a great save by J-Rob. They'll get over. Counterattack. Murder Revenge. Ace, get that sent away. Go back to Trash Panda. They go a little bit off, but still pressure. Well, as I say it, it shifts back to the Carnage. Trash Panda, and they send it through. A little bit of back and forth action currently happening here. And a demo from Trash Panda will allow Revenge to maybe keep up the possession.
This one's going to go high up in the air, drop down to Reckless. He's able to get the touch and a soft shot on goal. Still forced for Kansas City to have to push that one out of the way. This one's cleared well down the field and just barely across the midfield line. And really, I mean, since the shot on goal by Ace about a minute or a minute and a half ago, that was the last real opportunity either of these teams have had. This one looked, might have just barely made its way in. That one, the ball half into the goal and then cleared away off the post. It's still going to go across the face of goal. And now game 3, this series proving to be so dynamic in the way that these teams are handling things. We had obviously the absolute blowout of San Antonio in game 1, a very close but high scoring game in game 2. And now we're more than half of this game complete, and we're still knotted up at 0-0.
Pretty much nearly equal amount of shots for both of these teams. Got 5 from San Antonio and 4 from Kansas City. A little bit of an unfortunate mix-up earlier from San Antonio, just not able to put in the ball into that net of the Carnage. Just kind of like bounce off the post like 20 million times. And oh my goodness, there'll be a little bit of trouble for the Revenge here now. West will send it away back to Ace, where Reckless will be there to cut that passing lane. Brack has get this hit away. He's demoed by Trash Panda, but West will go for the attack. Go back to Ace. If he hits this, he does not hit it though. Go back to West. Away to the other side where J-Robs is, and he get through. Brad will get the 50 back to West. And it's gonna go far down, and Ace will get a shot. It's gonna go in, and the Carnage will strike first in game number 3.
And finally, the tug of war battle between these teams in game 3 is broken. KC West gets the assist on Ace. West for much of game 3 has been relatively quiet, only having between 60 and 70 points on the board until that assist. And now Kansas City holding on to a narrow lead. They won't have to do it very long as they can manage to not drop a goal. They have had a tendency to do that so far in the series, where once they score, they've generally given up a goal pretty quickly after that. 1 minute on the clock. Reckless up on the wall, trying to push this one back toward the midfield. Brad not quite able to get to it, and this one's going to go all the way down the field. West with a wide open goal, and he will not miss. 2-0, 46 seconds to go, and Kansas City has them right where they want them, Cream.
Carnage are on track to get that match point, and potentially, if they keep up this amazing pressure, they could as well take the series in a 3-1 fashion. Unless we have an answer from the Revenge. They looked so strong in that game number 1, but sort of quickly fall away. We're not seeing as much power from the Revenge team as we've seen earlier in the series. And 30 seconds left. It's not really over, but if this ball was just kept in the half, which has been like there for millions of years, then seems like the Carnage could just have this game right to themselves.
Well, and they've dropped back since, but for a moment, Kansas City was playing a pretty aggressive back line, and I mean, they're just keeping their foot on the gas. Now we're up to 3-0, 7 seconds left. Kansas City will take game 2. Credit to Ace on the demo. That one was going to be tough to get to regardless, just because of the bar down. It's going to be really difficult for the San Antonio defender to be able to get up to that, but even more difficult if you're dead. So Kansas City able to put it together, and now they have a shutout of their own after being shut out back in game one, barring a last-second goal here from San Antonio. But regardless, this one is over. Kansas City takes game three, and they have match point.
Beautiful showing from Kansas City. 3-0, shutting down the Revenge. Revenge not gonna get anything. And now, as the Revenge have got pretty much a domination in game one, then it was close in game number two. Now it seems like the tide has turned as the Carnage stomp the Revenge in this game number three.
Yeah, Brad McSnackwrap is the MVP. 1 goal, still no demos in this game, which, again, back to the pregame stats that we were kind of highlighting, had 14 demos leading up until that point. Has decided to kind of back off of that game, but it's still working for Kansas City, so don't change it if it's not broken. Field domination, we keep talking about that as well, and Kansas City even more so in dominating fashion where that statistics is concerned. 64% as opposed to 36% for San Antonio. And really, San Antonio, with their backs against the wall now, Cream, after a dominant game one performance, has slowly fallen off since then.
I think it's a game number 4 now, and have to do something to try and turn the tide back to themselves, as Carnage are put on match point. They've been looking ever so strong. They've been finding each other more, being on much more offensive pressure, no awkwardness on defense compared to earlier in the series, but gotta make sure you don't do too many double commits, just like what just happened there. Ace, you'll be up for this one. It's gonna be sent back down. Double commit from the Revenge, but not a really terrible one. Not in the worst situation as well. Gonna go back to J-Robs. He's gonna try and send a power hitter. He's gonna go back to Brad. Gonna send it away to West. Back to J-Rob. Some back and forth action currently in the midfield. Reckless didn't get a piece of it. Seemed like he was in a position where he could find that net of Carnage. J-Rob's gonna stop it. And so far, a minute has gone by, and it's seeming like a similar position than last game.
Yeah, a little bit of back and forth so far. No team playing overly aggressive in game 4. I'm a little surprised that Kansas City hasn't tried to continue playing with that aggressive tactic, the aggressive offense in particular, similar to how they had in games 2 and 3. Another interesting thing to note is that the team to strike first so far, and obviously this is going to be common, but the team to score first in games 1, 2, and 3 ultimately went on to win that game. So with that in mind, if Kansas City can make something happen here early, and it looks like they might, that one's gonna go crossbar down and then cleared away by Trash Panda right on the line. So close. As we were saying it, for Kansas City to be able to put the first ball in the back of the net. Now they'll continue to try to keep the attack up. Brad gonna try to put this one back toward the midfield. West has eyes on it. Put this one back off the wall. Danger now, though. Brad all the way back will clear that away. Bit of a risky pass off of the sidewall there to put it back into the field of play and then send it all the way back down to the other side. Brad again is the last one back. He'll get a touch and go up. Ace will follow up in the corner. Reckless is going to take out Ace, clear up the field for the San Antonio side, at least briefly. And Cream, now things are starting to heat up a little bit.
So far, no goal scored yet. Some offensive pressure coming along from the Revenge, but still no shot out of it. A double demo, one from West and one from Brad. Calling for maybe an attack from the Carnage. It's going to be sent away off the backboard. J-Robs cannot get a piece of it. Brad is going to send this one a little bit far off, but Ace is looking for a double, or maybe West can score this. Going to go back down, and Revenge a little bit of panic mode, but they get it out nonetheless. It's up for this one. He's looking for something spicy, and Brad will get a shot. It's going to be a little bit far off though. West is now looking for something. It's going to be sent away to the side of 50, where Brad will win. A-Rob's going to be a little bit off position. He's going to get beat up. So it's going to be sent away to Yo Soy Reckless. A little awkwardness from the Carnage there, but they managed to sneak it out just out of nowhere. So far, anyone.
Oh, not like this.
Oh, as I say, anyone, not anyone is gonna be Trash Panda. Gonna just send it in an open net. And unfortunate from the Carnage, they overcommitted a little bit too much, which will put Revenge on the board first.
Yeah, you may have saw West was well out of the play going over for that mid boost. This one's gonna go in, and just like that, oh, tough for San Antonio to not be able to clear that one out. A difficult position. This one goes barred down, and Reckless wanted to drop off of the ceiling. The unfortunate backflip. And within seconds of San Antonio giving up, or scoring the first goal of the match rather, they give up a goal, and we're back tied. 1 minute remaining. Ace is going to send this one down. Kansas City on the attack, trying to get it back toward the middle of the field. No one there. Both Kansas City attackers playing pretty conservatively. It's a bit of an odd choice, really. I mean, you don't necessarily want this to go to game 5, but you do have a little bit of wiggle room where that's concerned. San Antonio, we expect to potentially be playing more and more aggressively here. This one's going to rocket all the way across the other side of the field. Less than 30 seconds to go. West was on that side wall, decides to go all the way back for the corner boost. He'll be the one to save that away, at least for the moment. Gets the touch, and then off the backboard. Kansas City on their final attack. He does have his attacker Ace in the middle of the field. That one's not going to connect. Now as the clock counts down, Cream, we might have our first overtime of the night, and we do.
Carnage are looking to end it. Revenge are looking to send us into game number 5. What will happen here? West gonna find a save from a shot from Reckless. Now J-Rob's laying it up for Trash Panda. Gonna be a little bit far off. Ace gonna try and set it away. Get pressure for the Carnage. Trash Panda. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication maybe, as he doesn't get it alive for J-Rob's. Go for the ball. Go back to Brad. 50 away. Back to Ace. Gonna go off. Oh, maybe the backboard. Trash Panda is there though. Back to J-Rob's. Last one back is Brad. He gets beat though, but luckily the ball is sent away to the corner, allowing for time to the Carnage to maybe find a clear way. Uh-oh, no one is back on Revenge, and this one just might seal the deal. Ace will end the series. 3-1 Kansas City in the series, 2-1 in the game. And a little bit of an overcommit maybe from the Revenge will pretty much
on the demo on the other side, and Kansas City is able to take away the win. These teams break the streak of consistently going to game 5. This is the first series of either of these teams to not go all the way to game 5, but they tried to make that happen. And overtime game 4 is almost, not quite, but almost just as exciting. Congratulations to Kansas City. They will remain perfect on the season and advance their record to 3-0. San Antonio take their first loss. They will drop to 1-1. Ace is the MVP. Well done by both teams.
Yeah, the series was a little bit of a roller coaster. San Antonio just stomped the Carnage in the game number 1, and then they had a 2-goal lead in game number 2, but the Carnage managed to equalize it and then get the game-winning goal in that game number 2, and then they stomped the Revenge in game number 3, and a close win for the Carnage allows for the Carnage to finish off the series 3-1. And now that is the first series of tonight, but we got some more action. The next game that is happening is going to be Washington Rebellion versus New England Valhalla in the Noodle Cup series. Stick around, don't go anywhere. Be back soon with some more action.